I want people to really do me a favor. First of all, pray for me because after this video has concluded, a few things might end up happening. Number one, this channel may end up being taken down by the globalist Zionists up in Silicon Valley, YouTube, and all those people. This video may not last very long. So if you got a chance to watch it, you better watch it now. Because YouTube and Google and Yahoo and Facebook, Twitter, all of them are in the same globalist Zionist bed, and they don't take too kindly with what I'm about to say. Now, this is the same problem that not only myself, but people like Ronnie Cameron and Press for Truth and We Are Change in America, Roger Stone to a certain extent, Alex Jones, all these people who have been labeled as alt-right. This is what we go through, not only from the left, but also from the right, because one of the things that people like myself and David and Ronnie Cameron and Press for Truth and InfoWars and Alex Jones and Roger Stone, what we nationalists do, which is different from most of the so-called nationalists on the right who claim to be nationalists, is that we not only talk about the problems of Islam and Sharia law and honor killing and all this other rubbish that we see on Islam. I mean, the left attacks us and they attack us like dogs on that point. And we all agree with that, right? But the right will attack people like me and Ronnie Cameron and Press for Truth and InfoWars and Alex Jones and Roger Stone and others, many, many others, for criticizing Zionism. They will tear us apart. And if you think you have seen a triggered, leftist woman with 10 million cats living in her house who's never seen a dong come 2 meters with her, if you've ever seen someone like that triggered, you ain't seen nothing yet when you talk ill of Zionism or Israel to someone who is a so-called conservative. I mean, they will get triggered. You think you've seen a blizzard. I mean, people up in northern Alberta have seen nothing yet until they've seen the blizzard of snowflakes that these so-called conservatives become. And while we've got one part of the political spectrum going on and trying to appease Islam and all this other stuff, the other side is going on and trying to appease Zionism and Israel. Nobody is in the middle trying to actually protect our country and looking at the bigger picture here. Now, most of you know that I have recently become an independent. I don't call myself conservative. I don't call myself liberal. I don't call myself socialist or any of that stuff. I call myself a populist nationalist revolutionary because I know that all these political spectrums, they're all just full with a bunch of hypocrites. And I'll explain to you this whole Zionist plot, the reason why Israel was created by the Rothschilds to start more wars in the Middle East and globally, and wars instantly and automatically enrich the global central bankers and the debt pimps, because then governments around the world are forced to get more debt and enrich the debt pimps. That's why Israel was created. And not only that, in all honesty, Israel is an abomination to the Jewish religion. Just ask the Orthodox Jews, the Neturei Karta and the Hasidic Jews and all that stuff. They say, and these are the most hardcore Jews, they wear the braids and the hats and the beards and the oy vey and the goyim and all that stuff. They say that Israel is an abomination and that the Holy Land will not come until the Messiah comes, and I ain't seen no Messiah yet. I mean, in terms of Judaism, they haven't accepted any Messiah yet, so there should be no Holy Land. That's according to the Orthodox. So technically, Israel is actually being pro-Zionist and pro-Israel is actually anti-Jew, or at least anti-Jew message. But you can't say that to the right, and they won't come back at you with any facts or, figures or try to, rebut what you've said. They just call you a racist, anti-Semitic, you are a idiot, I hate you, you go die, go kill yourself, just like the leftists do when you criticize Islam. I mean, you talk about Islam and you say that there's no difference between, Islam and, people who practice it. It's not racist to criticize Islam, just like it's not racist to criticize Zionism. These two little people, these two same puppet people drinking the same Kool-Aid, they call you a racist. So I'm a racist because I say that it's not racist to criticize Islam. And I'm also an anti-Semite for saying that it's not racist to criticize Zionism. So I should join the Ku Klux Klan then, according to these people. You cannot talk to these people because they are just so brain dead. Now, in the very small chance that you do interact with someone who is of a level head and who is pro-Zionist, but is willing to talk to you in a mature, responsible way and not fly off the handle like some of these boomers have done, which I will say that boomers are the worst generation that mankind has ever seen. Their parents were the best, but their parents failed in the art of parenthood. But when you do reach some of the mature ones, they will say things like, okay, Israel is the most democratic nation in the Middle East, and they don't try to kill Americans like them damn Muslims do, Osama bin Laden and all those people. Well, I just have to say this. Israel has actually killed more Americans in 2.5 seconds than any Muslim has ever done. And I'll tell you why. All these wars that America has gone into, all of these battles and sending people to Iraq, they want to send people to Syria now, Libya, all these places. All of this stuff can be linked back to Israel. America usually goes to war on behalf of Israel. And the amount of Americans that have been killed in these wars, maimed, and not only that, financial ruin. America has one of the largest debts out there, mostly because of war. They're not giving people health care. They're not giving people any of that stuff. It's war, and it's all on behalf of Israel. And the reason they're doing it is so that the central bankers and the debt pimps, the people like the Rothschilds and many other people, can enrich themselves even more because war is very profitable. That is the reason why Israel has killed more people in America. I mean, it's worse than 10 million 9/11s. And not only that, these Muslims here who, before Israel couldn't point to America on a map, they weren't interested in no Uncle Sam. They weren't interested in no World Trade Center. They weren't interested in no Pentagon or anything like that. But these people have been riled up to throw planes into the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, if you believe the official story of 9/11, which I, at this point, am very suspect. They claim it's all because of Americans' consistent servitude to Israel and America going into their holy lands in Saudi Arabia and all this sort of stuff. And they go and attack America now. That's it. And I'm not giving them excuses. I'm not saying that Islam is whatever. It's no good. Sharia and all that. It should be banned. I think the burqa should be banned. I think, honor killings, all of that stuff should be banned. And anyone practicing it should be deported immediately. But nobody wants to talk about the other side. And all of it is linked to Israel and Zionism. Not Judaism, Israel and Zionism. And then other people will say things like, what does this have to do with Canada? What does this have to do with the current state of affairs that we are in currently right now? This whole talking about Israel and all this stuff like that. What does that have to do with me being able to go to the grocery store to buy a loaf of bread for my child so that he can eat it? You talking about Israel is a diversion. No, it ain't! It has everything to do with you! It has everything to do with you because the fact that all of these Western countries not only go to war for Israel, go into debt for Israel, but also have a monetary system and central banks who are run by many Zionists who did create Israel to go to war and to put countries in debt. That has everything to do with you. That makes the bread you try and eat more expensive. That makes the likelihood that your son or daughter is going to go to a battle and get killed more likely for what? To make some central banker richer? I mean, it has everything to do with you. All of the stuff that we've seen in the world, the slavery that's happening in Libya, the destabilization of Iraq, the destabilization of the Middle East, the high debt, the high cost of living, all of it has to do with the central bankers getting rich off of war, who in turn created Israel to start more wars and to make more money. It has everything to do with you, and you need to be thanking me for the fact that I'm speaking about this, and I'm opening your tacky-headed eyes to the real issue here. Now, you can get mad at me all you want, and you can, unsubscribe all you want. That's good. I need to clear the Iranian nation, purify it of all these Zionists and all these white knights and these Trigglypuff snowflakes and cucks and people who just get triggered so easily want to call me a racist when I try and point out the truth. That's fine. You can call me all the names in the book. Hey, the leftists have done it for years now. I've been doing this for years, and the leftists have been doing it. What difference is it going to make if you join the bandwagon with them? Go ahead. But for the people out there, the growing number of people out there who are opening their eyes to what's really happening in our world, they are going to thank me. And that number is growing. People like Ronnie Cameron understand what's going on. Press for Truth knows what's going on. Alex Jones knows what's going on. Roger Stone knows what's going on. All these people know what is going on, the real picture, and the real nationalists know what's going on. People even like Marine Le Pen up in Germany knows what's going on. And all these people, we know what's going on. We ain't afraid of you alt-light Trigglypuffs out there. Go on with your big bad self. You want to go on. I'm going to continue to speak the truth. I ain't gonna shut up. I've dealt with the left my whole life. You think you're any different? Please. You ain't even half of what these people are. I mean, you ain't even organized to come up against me. A lion is not interested in what a monkey has to say. Give me a break. Hey, I even had one Trigglypuff, alt-light, triggered snowflake, who when I said the same thing, he got so angry. He didn't come at me with facts. He didn't come at me with rebuttals. What he did was he went on my Facebook page, he took a couple of pictures of me drinking and having a party and being on the beach, and he posted them on the comment section. Like that's going to do anything. All that shows is that you are so scared and you're so vulnerable, you feel so afraid that you can't handle it, and you cannot face a beast like me, so you have to resort to that type of 12-year-old, 11-year-old foolishness. And I posted pictures of him and his ugly family. So it goes both ways. I mean, give me a break. You people can't come at me with anything. Now, if you want to have a real conversation with me, mature, constructive, I'm all open for it. But you come at me and you call me a racist, and you say I'm anti-Semitic, I'm anti-Jewish, and I'm an idiot, and this and that. Listen, I'm going to erase your comment. It's as simple as that. I'm not interested in what you have to that type of stuff. Go ahead, call it to me. Get your blood pressure going. I love it. I love triggering bad people. And with that being said, this is the Iranian nation who is never going to shut up. Ronnie Cameron's never going to shut up. Press for Truth ain't going to shut up. We Are Change ain't going to shut up. Alex Jones ain't going to shut up. Roger Stone ain't gonna shut up. We will not shut up. We will express and explain and expose the truth.